Hello and welcome to Tune In to Wellness Today. My name is Lisa Marie and I am the host of today's show. Today we're going to be taking a look at two key areas. One is taking a look at how you can shift and change your life at midlife to live the life that you want. How to let go of some of the things from the past and how to focus on and develop a new life for yourself for the future. We're also going to be looking at digestive health today. So excited for you to be here with us. My first guest is Kelly Myszkowski from Inner Light Transformational Coaching and Craniosacral Therapy. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, Lisa. Thank you.
Hello, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So Kelly, you have certifications across the board, certifications in coaching, transformational coaching, which we're going to talk a lot about today.
Yes.
But also as a massage therapist, a craniosacral therapist, correct? And you do body work as well, certification in body work?
Well, they're all forms of body work, and I think of it as working with the body to promote health and looking at it without segregating it, and being specific to be a more holistic approach, and whatever you need in that day is what we'll do.
That's wonderful. Now you've expanded your practice to have this transformational coaching going on, and I know you're focusing now, Kelly, on women in their midlife, professional women in midlife. And I want to speak to you about that in a moment, but I want to ask you first, how did you get there?
How did I get there? Well, that's an interesting question. I had started having my own problems in the mid-90s that were ultimately work-related. I had a lot of pain and tension in my body that really didn't need medical attention, but it wasn't getting better, and the doctors really didn't know how to explain what was going on with me. We weren't coming up with a diagnosis, and it didn't feel right to me on some level to do that anyway. It felt like that approach just wasn't right for me, and I'm grateful for that because it came from within me. It wasn't something that someone told me. Mm-hmm. And I realized I wasn't getting better, and so the short version of this is that by continuing to pursue that answer and look for what feels right to me, the right fit to approach my life and my situation, I finally found myself in the hands of a craniosacral therapist. And I saw how my life changed as a result of receiving that work. Not only my life, but my health changed, my relationship to myself changed, my relationship to my health changed, and my relationship to my life changed. And I saw that it was all actually different aspects of the same thing, if you will. Mm-hmm. And what it revealed to me was, the way that I look at it in any way, is if my soul was trying to get my attention, that I needed to course correct in my life, that I needed to be on a little bit different path. And I hadn't been listening to those subtle whispers within myself that really longed for something more, that really, I just admired people that had a sense of purpose in their life and had the amazing gift to be able to help others. And I thought, wouldn't that be neat? And I remember thinking that thought and going, no, that's somebody else. You're just kind of in a mode of transference because, your therapist is helping you so much. And I came to realize after a point in time how it would feel to me if I never had the opportunity to help another human being. So as I was receiving that work, I was beginning to change. What didn't serve me any longer fell away. The opportunities that I needed presented themselves, and it was a very natural, organic process. Now, don't get me wrong, when this all started, I was very happy in my life. On paper, I had a great job, great husband, home, family, friends, the whole 9 yards, great benefits package, but it just wasn't quite the right fit anymore. Something was
missing, and it was showing itself, indicating itself in physical symptoms, it sounds like.
It manifested that way by making me stop to take a look at myself and look at where I was at. And as I said, it was a very organic process. So eventually I had lost my job, and it was time to go to school and to get the training and develop my business and land me where I am today. And I realized that if I'm just working with people who come in and say, I don't feel great, this hurts, that hurts, I have this health problem, that health problem, and work just with their bodies, they're potentially going to stay in the same place unless they get more proactive at looking at the whole picture. Mm-hmm. And I know my process would have been streamlined if I had a coach at the time, although, as I said to you earlier, I would have missed a lot in my journey that's given me the experience I need to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful for every part of it. I have no regrets, but I'm also thrilled to be able to have this opportunity to work with people who either come to me and say, my body doesn't feel great. And I'm like, great, we'll start there. We'll address your symptoms, get you some relief. Then we're going to start making change that's going to last for you. We're not going to have you just go out and go back to your life the way that it was, if that's what you want.
Now, what are some of the tools, right, and to my understanding, the women that you're working with, professional midlife women who are ready to write that next chapter in their life. They're ready. You have to be ready. So, Kelly, what are some of the tools you use to help these women?
Okay, so if they've come to me for body work and they're in the area and they can get to me geographically, that's one of the tools. We use the craniosacral therapy, and in those sessions we may dialogue around something that even from the past may have stayed with them, because that's affecting their emotional responses today and the way that they look at their life. And that ultimately is what's causing our stress, the way we're looking at our life and the judgments we're making about it based on our beliefs. So I will work with their bodies and their minds with a hands-on approach. I have other people that come to me, they're not in the area, so they just can't make that drive, or their life is what's not fitting for them and they haven't made the connection to their bodies yet. So we would meet by phone. And I have some written exercises they may do. We have some conversation. I love it when they're open to doing and learning to do some meditation and some guided imagery work to help really transform those patterns so that they're not approaching their life from an intellectual standpoint. And they can really tune into what's right for them. Because when they let the guilt go, when they let the judgment go about their situation and really accept what's in their hearts and what they are uniquely designed to do, and they discover, I have all of these gifts, traits, and talents, I have all this life experience, and I've got this education behind me, and I can package it this way to write that next chapter. I may need to add to it. I may need to let some things go, or it may be just perfect right now the way that it is. Then they're able to make that shift and make it stick and have it be less stressful. And when it is stressful, it's good stress, because I still experience that myself. I still have those nights where, I question, I doubt, I don't sleep, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, but I know that I'm on my path.
I call that the human factor.
The human factor.
We are human, and we are not godly,
Right.
and so we're going to have those experiences
Exactly.
from time to time through that evolution process. Give me some benefits of some of the clients that you have worked with, some of the benefits they have received by working this program with you.
I think probably the biggest thing that people walk away with, besides feeling better and having a better sense of peace and confidence, is they get some clarity. They find that they look at things differently, that I'm able to see things in a way that they aren't, because it's almost like being front row at the movie theater. You don't see the whole picture. So as an objective professional with some training and experience in this, I can help awaken them to what they need to know. And the other part of that is that I love to get people into their bodies so that they're aware in the moment how their body is feeling, which is also giving them a signal about what their thoughts and beliefs and emotions are. And are you on the right track, or are you not? If I'm feeling anxious, is it a healthy anxiety, or do I have a belief that's not serving me and that fear is keeping me from taking that step? Then you know what you have to work with. To get to work with it, to let go of it, or to transform it and move on.
Kelly, you wrote a book?
I wrote an ebook.
What is the ebook's name?
The ebook is Creating Time for Me, Your Breakthrough Guide to Finally Creating the Vital Me Time You Secretly Crave. And what I find is that a lot of women just put everyone and everything else before themselves. And if you really want your life to change, you need to start focusing on you. And that can be very difficult to do because they don't know who they are, they don't know what they want, they feel guilty, and they don't know how to fit themselves into their own schedule. So I have this, it's available through my website.
Great.
Which is letyourinnerlightshine.com.
Great.
And they can sign up. It comes as a PDF. So it's electronic, it can be in your computer, it can be on your iPad, wherever you want to put it. And there is a printable worksheet in the back to help you work through the exercises in it. It's only 10 pages total, so it's real simple.
Wonderful.
It's a quick read, though I encourage people to take their time with it. You also get as a bonus meditation, an MP3 meditation that is called Just Be. And it's about 12 minutes long. You don't need any experience, you just listen and follow the instructions and let yourself just be. So it helps you to get out of all of those preconceived notions, to stop the ego and intellectual chatter, and just let those deeper messages come through. Let your heart really speak to you, and keep your head out of the game. Then the head can tune back in when it's time.
When it's time. Well, it is so very true that particularly with professional women that if you're not actively doing something, if you're not in action,
Right.
I should say it that way, that you feel like you're not accomplishing.
Exactly.
So to understand that just to meditate and to be is still achieving
Yes.
something is a big key in this whole process. All right, because we
Exactly.
have that whole feeling like we need to do, physically do, right, to be successful. So this is beautiful. Do you have any events or classes coming up that we want to let the audience know?
At this time, all of that is in the works.
Okay.
So I do have an events page on my website. I am also on Facebook, Inner Light with Kelly. I'm on Twitter, Inner Light Kelly.
Great.
That's a great place to check in. I will be doing a workshop sometime through the summer on creating time for me. It's a 2-hour workshop at our Arts Center, Mohawk Valley Center for the Arts in Little Falls. I have done some teleclasses and those things I normally do through the winter months.
Excellent.
So,
And they will be posted on your website.
It'll be
so if
posted on my
someone wants to see
website.
those. Wonderful. Kelly, thank you so much for all the
Thank
wonderful
you.
healing work you are doing.
oh, thank you.
I greatly appreciate it. You are very welcome. If you would like more information on Kelly, go online to letyourinnerlightshine.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
I certainly do hope you enjoyed Kelly, and I do encourage you to reach out to her with any questions you may have. My second guest today is Raya Ioffe from Raya Wellness. Raya will be speaking to us today about digestional health. She has a degree from Cornell University as well as from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. Well, welcome, Raya.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm so glad that you are here. Digestive health, wow. So many things, diseases occur in that digestive area. About 74% of Americans approximately, right, have digestive problems?
Yes.
Would you list for me a handful of what those might be, those problems?
Yeah. So a lot of people are struggling with gastroesophageal reflux, Crohn's, colitis, IBS, gastritis, constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating. The list is so long. Gallbladder problems. It's actually, as I found out recently, is one of the most common surgeries performed in America is gallbladder removal surgery, which is astounding.
Mind-boggling, I know. So, so much of our immune system, 75-85% roughly sits around the digestive tract. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of it is even, we consider, even residing within the digestive tract itself. So a lot of people have probably heard, the buzzword is probiotics these days, everything probiotic. What does that mean? That's the good gut flora. Those are the good bacteria that we have living inside of our gut. And they are responsible for a lot of our immune health as well. They actually produce naturally occurring antibiotic factors, which is so cool. We don't have to take them from the outside. They're already making them for us.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So much disease, I think it's approximate 90% of disease, really comes from gut problems, as you're saying. So because our immune system is impacted when our gut is not healthy. So I am so excited that you're handling this particular part of a person's body. How are ways that you work with a client who's coming to you with a digestive issue, any one of the ones you mentioned, how do you work with them?
That's great. So one of the first things that I look at, first of all, we look at the whole history, basically from everything, how you were born, how you were nursed or not, what your life was like as a child, were you sick, what you ate as a child, what you're eating now, everything. We look at everything, where you've traveled. And then I focus on figuring out where your digestive system actually needs support. So a lot of people are eating already a healthy diet, but there's something missing. And so yes, you can be eating all this amazing healthy food, but if then your body doesn't actually break things down or absorb this amazing food that you're eating, you're kind of throwing your money out the window. So first step that I focus on is optimizing the digestive system. So making sure all the organs are functioning optimally. So the stomach is doing what it's supposed to be doing, the small intestine, that we are eliminating properly, because so many people think, you know, their doctor tells them, oh, if you go to the bathroom once every 3 or 4 days, that's okay. It's really not okay. I've heard some interesting stories. So that's not normal. Gas, bloating, burping, not normal.
That is correct.
So we focus on bolstering the digestive system and rebuilding the gut flora, because in our society we have been assaulted from every direction, and that destroys those good bacteria in our gut that do so much for us. So we really work on rebuilding that.
I think first educating your clients to the fact that you have good bacteria, because you hear the word bacteria and people think that's really bad,
scary.
So that we have good bacteria that our body naturally produces, right? And so we're going to take some cultured foods and probiotics, which you're going to speak about in a moment, and we're going to help and enhance those good, healthy bacteria in the body. The second thing is, to the point that you made a moment ago, without being disrespectful to anyone, that having an antacid is the norm for many people. They think that's okay to go buy, and I won't mention names, but antacids over the counter, that if I'm not feeling good or I have gas, or I'm just going to take something. And not necessary when you're eating healthy and your digestive tract is very healthy. So this is great that you're doing this. Tell us about you specialize in cultured foods and drinks. Tell us what that means.
Yeah. So I, like we talked about, I encourage people to begin to rebuild their gut flora. And I think supplements are great and they have their place. But I also think that if we go back and we look in time, traditionally, so many different cultures, if you look at in the world, have traditionally cultured or fermented their food and drink. And we can look at many different things. Eastern Europe is famous for sauerkraut. We can look at Asia. We have kimchi. We have tempeh. We have miso. I mean, the list of yummies.
Speaking my language, girl.
I know. I love it. I love miso. I put it in everything that I get. Dressings, soups. So it's really great to look at that and go back and get our probiotics, our good guys, our good bacteria from our food, from our drink. And as much as we can add that into our diet, the better. And probiotics are great, the supplements are great, but you're just getting the probiotic. When you add cultured or fermented food, you're getting the probiotics, but you're also getting organic acids that actually start the digestive fires. You get the enzymes, you have your B vitamins, your C vitamins, your antioxidants. Fermented vegetables particularly have a lot of vitamin K2, which is so good for bones, and the list just goes on. So you're getting so much more when you're getting it in your food.
Oh, absolutely. And supplements have, you have to look at absorption rate. In all honesty, what is the actual absorption rate? In addition to what you're speaking about, you're not receiving 100%, not even 60 or 70 oftentimes. So you're taking supplements and you might not really be receiving the benefit that you're thinking. How do you make your cultured foods?
Well, there's a variety of different processes. So one of my favorite foods to make is, like I said, sauerkraut, or a kimchi style, like a Korean style spicy kraut with ginger and cayenne and garlic. Oh my God, it's so amazing. So there are a couple of different methods, but lacto fermentation is the method, the more common method. And that refers to lacto fermentation. Is a little bit of a confusing term because when people hear lacto, they think lactose, like milk. That's not true for lacto fermentation necessarily with everything. Well, specifically, lacto refers to the lactobacilli, because the lactobacilli are one of those good strains of bacteria, and they create lactic acid, and that's where that term comes from, the lacto fermentation. So there is the vegetables, there is kombucha making, which requires a mother or a SCOBY starter. There is different kinds of kefir. There is a dairy kefir. If you can't tolerate dairy kefir, there's water kefir available. Beet kvass. Oh gosh, there's probiotic soda, which is one of my favorites, which uses actually ginger as a starter culture. There's just so many wonderful things out there. You can make vegan yogurt. One of my new favorites is coconut milk yogurt. I'm totally enamored with it right now.
Sounds really, very good to me. So you make the foods and drinks, and you are educating people on this, how to do this. So you're teaching some classes, correct? And people can actually hire you. Is that true, Raya? If they wanted to bring some friends in and learn how to do cultured foods, they would reach out to you.
Absolutely.
And you would host a class for them at their home or your office setting, home. All right, wonderful news. And different drummer, Honest Weight Co-op are several places that they'll find you.
Yep.
As well. Great.
Probably the best way, because I sort of move around teaching in different locations and spaces. I am quite often at the Honest Weight Food Co-op, probably at least once every 2 months teaching classes. But the best way is just to reach out to me directly. People are welcome to get in touch with me through my website, rayawellness.com. And I also happen to have an ebook on there if they wanted to grab a copy of that, and they'll automatically also be added to my newsletter list, which I try to send out once a month, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yes.
But I let people know about events coming up.
Wonderful.
And in that newsletter, as well as some recipes and in education that I provide in there.
What is your ebook about?
8 things that you won't find out from your doctor about relieving constipation.
That is a fabulous book.
Yeah.
That is fabulous. I might even download it, read it, and have it for my clients. I would love to read it. So thank you very much. Thank you for the work you're doing. I know you have a class coming up in June at the Honest Weight Co-op, right?
Yes.
All right, super. So anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I just want to put it out there that I know a lot of people are struggling with digestive problems. I too. This is how I started on this path. I had a lot of digestive problems myself, which were pretty debilitating. At first, it didn't start out as debilitating, but it kind of kept escalating because, sometimes the alarm gets sounded and you're like, yeah, I hear you, but later. And then it rings a little louder and a little louder. And I know what it's like to suffer with a multitude of problems, and I know how it can really take you out of the game of life. And I just want to give people the hope that there are solutions, there are answers, and that people don't have to live suffering with all these digestive problems, because it really undermines their life, their happiness, their energy. And I know that when I got my life back, if you will, when I started healing my own self, actually, through a lot of stumbling at first and a lot of mistakes, so I like to save that trouble for other people. But I was able to be a more active participant in my own life. I started to work out like I never used to have the energy before. I became a triathlete, which was I wouldn't even in my wildest dreams think that I would be a triathlete. I could barely run a mile when I started on this journey. So just to give people hope that you can get better. And
that is very, very impressive. I mean, to become a triathlete, period, is impressive. So, and then you came there from a diagnosis, an illness, and then a healing and wellness. So,
Yes.
kudos to you. And moreover, that is what you can help people do. So, what I'm hearing, to recap, because some benefits is increased energy.
Yes.
All right, better functioning all around in their life. Right?
Yes.
Clarity of mind is for so many reasons, from a physiological standpoint, but a psychological standpoint as well.
Oh,
when you're not
yes.
focusing on disease and pain all the time, you have more clarity of mind. Thank you so very much for the
Thank
work that
you.
you do and for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Loved being here.
If you would like more information about Raya and the work she does, go online to rayawellness.com. I certainly do hope you found Kelly and Raya to be very informative, and I do encourage you to reach out to them with any questions you have. I have started a Veterans and Active Military program. This program is specific for veterans and active military who are diagnosed with PTSD. As part of my company, Inspiring Wellness Solutions, I've opened a division called IWS Foundation for Health and Healing that has opened its doors to see these men and women who suffer with PTSD, to give them natural, holistic wellness options to their care, and to receive this care at a very, very small out-of-pocket fee to them. Services are provided by myself and my staff, and we will offer an array of holistic natural wellness services such as Reiki, aromatherapy, counseling, nutrition education, couples counseling, just to name a few. I have individual and group classes. And for any veteran or active military suffering with PTSD who feels that this would be a handout to him or her and is not comfortable with that, please understand that this is a gift to you for what you have done for all of us. We really do encourage you to come in and receive the help that you need, not only for yourself, but for your families, your children, your co-workers, your parents, your siblings. And for yourself as well, come receive the help you need. Give me a call or come on into the office, 2023 Route 9, Round Lake, New York, to learn about the different programs that we're offering for you. If you know of a veteran or active military man or woman who has PTSD, I highly encourage you to give them my information and have them reach out to me. I'm here to save lives. It is true that over 6,500 veterans committed suicide last year in 2015, and that active military rates of suicide have increased in 2015 in every branch of the military, including reserves and National Guard. My focus is to help stop these suicides, to give these men and women their lives back so that they can live in peace, in harmony, and in health. Thank you for listening, and please do share this information. For everyone else, please do call me to receive the health and happiness benefits that you deserve in your life. 518-292-8767, Lisa Marie, Inspiring Wellness Solutions. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great week and a great weekend, and until next time, be happy, be healthy, and be alive.